What's good, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Golden 83, and I am here to do a random pull for monthly manifestation for the month of September. I hope you guys are doing well. Remember, you guys, these are general, not personal, so take what resonates and pass the rest to the next, okay? For just a small summary, the full moons have been occurring somewhat in the beginning of each month. The full moon is coming up on the 7th, which is a full corn moon. It's a peak time to not only harvest corn, but take it as a time to kind of peel back the layers around your solar plexus, the root of creativity and joy. For some, it could be marking the completion of an old phase to welcome in the new. Okay. September obviously is the 9th month of the year, which is a powerful month of reflection and enlightenment. So ask yourself, are you ready for that next chapter in your life? Have you completed the goal that you set at the beginning of the year? And who or do you want to continue on the path you're on, regardless of the difficulty? Okay. And that just means, as far as the potential for phases to be completed upon in the month of September, if that means completing a phase with family, friends, a job, anything, negative that may be holding you back, it's now time for that to be completed. Okay, that phase is now done. Okay, so if you're ready to move forward, by all means, do it with grace. Keep your head held high at all times, and know that it's for your greater good. Okay, so like I said, this is random, and so we're gonna pull a sign from out of the singing bowl for our next reading. Okay, and I'm hoping to get these all done, get through all the signs for their readings. There's this one sign that's like stuck in my nail, so I guess that one is next. Okay, so let's see who we have, and it is Leo. Okay, Leos, you guys are up. So let me get your placement card. I think you guys are actually first out of the fire signs. So far I've done one for air, one for earth, and now fire with you guys. Okay, you guys did have an Empower Me reading not too long ago, so I don't know if you've seen that, but you can definitely go and check that out after this one, or you can stop this one and go look at that one first. Okay, but basically the monthly manifestations, if you are not used to them, are just a guide for what you would like to manifest in your life right now, whether it be physical or personal. We're going to shuffle the Moonology deck here. Normally 3 times, but Spirit is saying 4. 4 meaning progressing forward for you in a positive manner. Leos are coming out of their season right about now, so y'all need just a little extra, extra message to carry you over from your birthday month. May have had a lot of reflection going on during your birthday, possibly, or just having a natural high for your birthday. I noticed more so or less Leos are very hyped when their birthday comes around. Okay, so We're going to do one from the top, which is new moon energy, one from the bottom, which is first quarter moon energy, and then one energetically from the middle, which I'm kind of shifting around a little bit, but I think my eye is settling here, okay? And this is full moon energy. Now, full moon energy for September is coming on the 7th, which is supposed to be, I think, a lunar eclipse. And then first quarter moon energy is on the 29th, and new moon energy on the 21st, which is International Peace, Day of Peace. So try to remain as, tranquil as you possibly can be. Hopefully nobody, sets you guys off. We'll look at the bottom of the deck for the overall energy of this spread here. But new moon energy is always a time where I feel like new ideas, habits, things of that nature come about during new moon. And then first quarter moon is where you should do your own self-progress report, in the sense of, again, whatever your goal is right now, it's going to be feeling like kind of overlapping, because there's probably been a lot going on that you've been trying to get some progress with. So first quarter moon being on the 29th, you have a lot of time, more so or less, between the completion of whatever process you were in before rolling into a new one, with full moon energy being on the 7th. So for September, there's about a week in between the new moon and the first quarter moon. So whatever, diligently work towards whatever that goal is. It doesn't necessarily have to be completed come the next full moon in October, but you should be close to completion, okay? And it's just a way to keep you going along your outline for yourself. And, you can schedule something every now and, every other 2 days or so, but you just want to keep making progress, okay? Even if the progress is just having communications and making sure you answer all your emails, or checking your text messages, or actually doing a task that you need to get done in order to move forward, or feel as though you're moving forward. It just all depends on the situation, okay? So with that being said, let's see, what should the mindset be towards your intention or goal, Leos, for September, okay? Work through your fears, okay? Work through your fears. Scorpio energy here, okay? Scorpio and new moon. I don't focus that much on, the phases, unless it's, Spirit says that it's necessary. But work through your fears. What is it that you're fearing? Okay, it may not be an innate fear of something. It could be just some form of doubt circling a process or a project. Maybe it's about writing out how to avoid whatever that doubt is. So if you think something will be received negatively, how can you view it as the opposing person to remove that fear, okay, or remove that doubt, okay? Scorpio energy being here, I have Scorpio in my 7th house on my birth chart, and that's the placement of contracts and relationships. So if you are doing a lot of, and then there's also the 11th house, which is social communication and global communications. I feel like they're intertwined as far as networking, possibly. So you could be wondering how someone may receive your communications or idea, possibly. And so whatever you think that person, if you know that person well enough, then you should be able to work around it, in securing um, their participation in it, or understanding it. If not, you're not very familiar with that person, just more so or less either you know someone or have a mutual friend that could probably give you some insight, um, or again, put yourself in that person's shoes and make some changes as need be. Okay, so let's see what's going on in the first quarter moon energy. Will or have you made any progress come the first quarter moon? Okay, in prosperity lies ahead, Taurus energy. Okay, I am a Taurus. Okay, so obviously having Taurus, being very steadfast, headstrong, prosperity lies ahead. You don't have anything to really worry about except for any kind of self-doubt, to just remove them. Okay, if you've dotted your I's and crossed your T's, then there should be no issues. Okay, and with this green being here, and then we have purple here, purple meaning your intuition, your crown chakra, um, and then this green coming in as far as heart space, and I feel more so or less green light for go. Okay, so that means you're doing what you need to do. Come the first quarter moon, you should see a lot of progress happening, or more so or less towards one particular facet of your project, is going to be full speed ahead, while other things you may still need to kind of work through. Okay, and something about being all in your head, you're kind of all in your head about something. Okay, let's see what's going on in the full moon energy. Has or is the intention or goal being achieved by the full moon? Okay, and that is either full moon, again, like I said, it's overlapping progress going on. And so either a little bit of residual August, what you may have kick started in August, is it going to be completed by the 7th? Okay, real quick, let me see October. October's full moon is on the 6th, which is a harvest moon. Okay, which usually, in agriculture means like the last good harvest that comes out of any crops. And so what or will you have harvested from this particular venture, or maybe multiple? Okay, so you may have a busy month in October, slightly, or the beginning of October, but the energy is gaining momentum. Okay, the energy is gaining momentum as far as has or is the intention or goal being achieved. Okay, it's gaining momentum. I feel like that's more so or less towards either as a whole for some of you, one particular project. Others, it could be that you may be slightly delayed in starting it. So, but separate from something else. You've got a lot going on, Leos. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna specify what it is, because these monthly manifestations have like a barrier of protection over whatever your idea is. And so Spirit will not allow me to really deep dive into what it could possibly be. Only you know, and God, Spirit, Universe, whoever you pray to. And so I try to protect that. Now in other readings, we get a little bit more, out in the open with it. Just depends on Spirit. Okay, so let's see what the overall energy is. We're going straight to the bottom of the deck. Have faith in your dreams. Okay? Have faith in your dreams. Like I said, new moon energy to me brings about a lot of ideas, fantasies, imagination. If you find yourself just all of a sudden things are just boom, 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 you just seem to keep having these very vivid dreams of things that possibly are meant for you to pursue. It could be dealing in work, it could be a hobby that can turn into a business. So many avenues, okay? And so have faith in your dreams. And if you keep having the same reoccurring dream, it's almost like spirit is hitting you in the head, like we're trying to show you. You keep asking, and a lot of this, purple, violet going on, you've been having more so or less a lot of headiness, okay? So you've had a lot of thoughts, dreams, ideas, visions, and if you keep having the same one, it's obviously spirit telling you green light, go, okay? As far as even if it is just writing it out, more so or less, I definitely always suggest that in these readings, that if you pay attention to your dreams, start writing them down. If they feel so real, write them down, okay? Especially if they're tied to an idea of some sort, okay? So let's get into clarifying this spread here using the general writer's weight, just to get a little bit more clarity for this spread. Now, if you're fine here, that's cool. Dip off, come back, and see what else happens throughout the month. That's perfectly fine. But we also get into the end of the reading with your present self and higher self subconsciously on what it is that you also need to work on spiritually, just as an aid, all right? So one from the top is for new moon energy. One from the bottom is for first quarter moon. And then we'll pull one energetically from the middle. Okay. I have to be very, very careful when I'm pulling directly from the middle, because it's like my eye goes directly to a card and I have to get that actual card. We'll look at the bottom of the deck to also clarify the overall outcome from the top here of have faith in your dreams. So let's see what you have going on here, Leo. Again, work through your fears as far as your mindset is being clarified by judgment, okay? Now, what did I say at the beginning of the reading, all right? That you are going to be somewhat worried about how you are received as far as communications, maybe judgment from people that are around you, or a particular maybe business partner possibly may not agree with you on some things, but it's all about communicating, okay? Clear those doubts, especially if it's more so or less a new business partner. And so please try and get your thoughts together before you have this meeting, okay? If you're meeting with someone, have all your I's and your T's dotted and crossed. I'm the kind of person that likes to preemptively plan ahead, even with my own, like with work and even with my shop. I'll kind of think of, it's always easy to create something garnered to your own likes, beliefs, and interests, but you also have to consider someone else's, okay? And so if you can almost avoid judgment by easily saying something in a way of like, I know this probably sounds weird, but this is why I did it this way. Even if you do that, it comes off a lot better, okay? So they may raise an eyebrow, but if you give a proper, justification for it, then you can possibly bypass the judgment, okay? They just have to understand where you're coming from with it, all right? And more so or less getting straight to the point of it, okay? Now, let's get into has or is the intention or goal being having any have you made any progress? First quarter moon. Prosperity lies ahead. 9 of Cups, okay? It's not a 9 of Pentacles, okay? 9 of Pentacles is more secure within stability. However, 9 of Cups is just as good as far as emotions, okay? Cups are tied to emotional. And so, dealing with water energy as well. But being very strong and confident within yourself, 9 is, you've done everything come this first quarter moon, like I said, as far as being very organized. If you do exactly that from new moon to first quarter moon, being organized, having everything outlined perfectly, and feeling totally secure in what you're doing, okay? I feel the word like established for some reason, or establishment, or EST possibly. Something that you can feel secure in and confident in with this 9 of Cups energy, okay? So prosperity lies ahead because of the fact and how this person is sitting with their arms crossed, the cups behind them, they're secure in everything. Possibly hosting something, maybe not currently, but down the line. You're at I feel this head of the table, more so or less, with this first quarter moon energy. So you're either headed that way and also hearing the word blessed, okay? So all good words coming out here, all positive energy. Let's get into this full moon energy. Has or is the intention or goal being achieved? And you received, the energy is gaining momentum, being clarified by the King of Swords, okay? King of Swords energy. King of Swords, air energy, which is Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius, okay? You don't necessarily have to be involved with any one of those signs. It's just an honorable mention. Anytime when you see me mention a sign, it does not necessarily mean that they are tied to you. They could be down the line, or it could be just in your birth chart, possibly, okay? But this King of Swords energy with gaining momentum, a lot of speaking. I denote air energy with conversation or communication, more so or less when I do or pull swords energy. And so with the King of Swords being here, it's very mature energy, and where your words are matching your actions, and thus the reason momentum is coming with this full moon energy, whether it be, I would say the 7th, but I think it's going to be more so or less something specifically tied to the 6th of October with gaining momentum. But again, like I said, dealing with something in particular. All right. So let's see what the overall energy is clarifying the have faith in your dreams for you, Leo. And it's the Wheel of Fortune. And I kid you not, I kid you not, my right hand itching. And when the right hand itches, that means money is on the way. Okay. Also, having a win-win outcome is forecast right up underneath this. Okay. And I'll show that to you so you understand where I'm coming from. And I normally don't go down the deck, but Spirit says you should. Okay. So it literally says it on the bottom. A win-win outcome is forecast. Okay. So have faith in your dreams can lead to a win-win outcome in the forecast, and then Wheel of Fortune. Okay. That means I feel the energy of revolving income, or just again, things. I think some things resurfacing in the sense of income. What may have dropped before resurfaces again. Maybe you were kind of out of finances for something, and now finances have been able to move or will be moving to allow you to move forward. Okay. Maybe signing of a contract, possibly for finances. So maybe a loan of some sort. But I ain't trying to put all y'all business out. Okay, I'm just saying. That's what I'm feeling. It's tied to money. Okay, because like I said, my right hand is itching. All right. So we're gonna get into what is the message of support to achieve or manifest. So we're gonna take that one and see if Spirit has another message for you. What is the message of support to achieve or manifest for Leo? I'm going to take that one too. Any other messages for Leo? What is the message of support to achieve or manifest for Leos? All right, and we'll take that one too. Any other messages? That's it. So you got 3. You also received water. I'm going to start there. Capricorn received water as well. Work with the element of water for healing, purification, and refinement. Okay. I will definitely suggest water. I drink water pretty much all day behind anything else that I drink. I always follow it with water. If you're a soda person, definitely drink some water behind that. If you're finding yourself highly dehydrated, you need to definitely replenish your body with water and do a complete flush. Okay. One thing that's good, every now and again my body craves cranberry juice, so I will drink cranberry juice for like a certain amount of days, but I follow that cranberry juice with water. And I've said this before in readings, I can't remember which sign it was, but pay attention to your urine. Okay, if your urine is being highly yellow and more so or less you can smell the ammonia, or more so or less what you've eaten within your urine, you definitely need to cleanse with some water. Okay. You could also do shots of apple cider vinegar followed by the cranberry juice, and then water. Straight water. Okay, nothing else in it. No lemonade, no nothing, just straight water. Okay, do that and start seeing your urine start to clear up. If it's slightly cloudy, you still have some impurities going on, but definitely want it to subside into like a clear to almost slight hue. It could be green, Foods that you can eat, obviously, asparagus is a diuretic, and so it does make your urine smell. However, it does also help kind of clean the urinary tract and also your bladder, things of that nature. So, asparagus, I like asparagus. I don't really eat it as much. As of lately, I've been enjoying cabbage, different forms of cabbage, and Brussels sprouts. Like roasted Brussels sprouts have been really good. Again, I'm a Taurus, I'm a foodie, so I'm always going to be talking food sometime on this channel. If you've been watching me long enough, you know your girl like to eat. But nonetheless, if you're needing to clean out your system, I don't know if it's like for a job possibly, or just feeling like you need some kind of cleansing to go on. This is now the fall, okay? Usually the fall brings along comfort foods, and most people do more cleansing, possibly. For me, I do some preemptive cleansing towards the fall, because of course preparing for like Thanksgiving and stuff, where you might, pig out a little bit during the holidays, and then start all over again towards the beginning of the year, but within spring, to start flushing out. But you should try and do that now, okay? Just trying to eat more clean, natural foods, okay? Next, we have triple spiral, okay? Triple spiral, which says listening to divine wisdom and joyfully learning life's lessons, okay? Listening to divine wisdom and joyfully learning life's lessons, all right? Now, you may have some dreams in regards to what I just mentioned, as far as taking better care of yourself, or listening to divine, paying attention to your dreams, and telling you or specifying to start cleaning your system out, okay? For others, it could just be specific wisdom in just life's journeys, period, okay? Listening to the opinions of others based off of their own experiences could potentially help you and build you in better security within yourself, okay? Personal well-being, personal wealth, if you will. Here we have self-confidence, okay? I'm going to move this triple spiral over because I want this to be right up underneath that 9 of Cups, okay, that we talked about earlier. Strong self-belief and a sense of worth, okay? Strong self-belief and a sense of worth, all right? So you definitely will have that, and like I said, that's kind of been rolling over from August during y'all's season. And so definitely no problem there, okay? But someone in your circle, or who you plan on getting involved with, more so or less, their opinion matters to you. And so you definitely are going to need to continue that self-confidence when you're sitting with them, okay? That new moon energy coming in again. So let's tap into your present self, Leo, and your higher self. Right now, the question is, what is the energy of the present self for Leo? What is the energy of the present self for Leo? This is the Elemental Oracle, tied more to, we're used for present self. In the spiritual world, it would be called the 3D. Shuffle by 3, and we're going to cut the deck by 3. And we're going directly to the bottom of the deck. Creation, water, okay? Creation, water. Here we are bringing water back to the forefront again. Tapping into that water energy. We are, again, headed into the fall. Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces are in between, I think, February and I believe June or July for Cancer. and then Scorpio is the last. Okay, so you may have some ties to Scorpio maybe in your birth chart, and you may want to find out where. Okay, 29 equaling out to 11, some form of enlightenment going on within this month for you. Leos, possibly going all the way into November. Okay, we have this woman in water. She has doves floating around her, her hair kind of lifting as they're flying through and around her. Her eyes closed, really centering herself and more so or less feeling like, again, purification, as we talked about earlier. Flow forward with grace and confidence. Be true to your emotions. Do not allow yourself to become stagnant in your ways. Creation is your birthright. Consider what is vital to your happiness and ensure that you seek it. Creato, which is ancient Latin for he shall create. Okay? Creato, which is Creato. That is your word of power. Okay? Now, the part where, and then you do have cave and protection underneath. Okay? So, protecting that in which you do create. All right? But the part where it says, do not allow yourself to become stagnant in your ways. I feel an energy that's saying, you know, if you do something, don't think that your part in it is done. Okay? Your part in it is never done. You have to continue to oversee it. If you are going to be at the head of the table, you cannot let anything get out of your sight or be in your blind spot. You need to know where everything is at all times and what everything. You can have trust in people, but it's more so or less not a sense of trying to the word was right in my head, but I lost it. Micromanage. It's not that you're trying to micromanage anyone. You just want to know and be assured that things are getting done. Okay? So always doing some form of a check-in. Like I said, first quarter moon energy of just a progress report of knowing what is going on in certain aspects of a project. There is nothing wrong with that. But do not think that because you've done what you feel to be all that's necessary is the only thing that you need to do. All right? More is and always will be required of you. Now, what is the potential energy for the higher self? What is the potential energy for the higher self of Leo? I'm going to do one more. What is the potential energy for the higher self of Leo? Okay. Feel parting a little bit there. And let's go to the bottom of the deck. Leos, you have the law of divine will. The law of divine will. Stop waiting for a sign. The universe responds to your beliefs. The universe responds to your beliefs. Stop waiting for a sign. We have this person walking through kind of like a hallway here, and there's clouds, but there's this, potential, whirlpool galaxy ahead of her as she's walking. If you've been waiting for a sign for something, the sign has already been there. What you believe is the sign, and divine has been in your dreams trying to, guide you forward. Okay? But it's like you're waiting for something in particular that you don't need to continue to wait for. Again, kind of like I said, in Capricorns, this reading itself possibly is your sign, but you probably knew, the whole time in regards to something, okay? And I'm probably going to read this next one for you, Leos, as a bonus, okay? This one here, Universal Law of Divine Will. It is time to end waiting and begin living. The will of spirit is your authentic will. In this card, your higher self desires for you to direct universal laws through the power of your mind and the conviction of your heart. The only transgression is not giving yourself fully to life. This is a sign to do the thing you've always desired to do, or take that course you have always wanted to experience. Take action today. Let go of resistance and step into your grace. Where have you been holding yourself back in life? Contemplate bold actions to take right now that will allow you to align with your deepest desires. Let's go. Okay? Now, in the Empower Me reading, I am going to mention that again, to go and look at your Empower Me reading, Leos, because the title of that one is Let God and Let Go. Okay? Go and watch that reading. Okay? That probably has to coincide with this. All right? The reason why y'all got that extra reading is because of the views that were on your right here and now. And so I went on ahead and hit y'all with that one, but there's been no views on it. I'm going to read this next card for y'all and wrap up y'all's reading, because there could be two separate sets of Leo's energy on this reading here. Those that are waiting on a sign, and others that are, doing just fine, but just need that, extra nudge of confidence. Okay? This card here is the Law of Mental Equivalent. Use your imagination to create your dreams into reality. This card indicates that you must wake up and realize that life is the ultimate mirror of your consciousness. Who you are being and how you are living indicates the exact beliefs you are embodying. If you do not like what you are experiencing, it is up to you to reprogram your subconscious mind and redirect energy upon universal law to manifest and demonstrate a life you love. Imagination is the secret to creating your dreams into reality. Go into contemplative meditation and ask yourself, who am I? If I am not my things, the status of my relationship, the money in my bank account, or my body, who am I? Okay, now it sounds like some of you may have Capricorn in a particular place in your birth chart, because there's some isolation going on. Okay, matters more so or less for some of you, matters of the heart. Okay, what are or who are you without the tie of your relationship? Okay, and some of you, that I think we hit upon in your right here and now in your Empower Me reading. So take the time to kind of look into that, look into yourselves right now. Pay attention to your dreams. Spirit could be talking to you very strongly, very vividly in the next couple of weeks, leading into that new moon energy. which is probably going to be a shift in your mentality, okay, in your energy period. All right. So with that being said, Leos, that is all that I have for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the bonus there, for free 99. All right. And so I will catch y'all hopefully in the next reading. Peace.